Oh! Oh, hello.
Welcome to Nerdverse HQ, your ultimate destination to everything pop culture. I will be your host, and today we'll delve deep into the story of Wade Wilson, better known as the one and only, and I really mean one and only, Deadpool! So join me, and together we will embark on an amazing journey as we uncover the origins and delve deep into the Merc with a Mouth story. Together we are going to unravel the mystery surrounding Deadpool before the highly anticipated release of Deadpool and Wolverine in cinemas worldwide on July 26, 2024. From his crazy beginnings to the wildest of adventures, we will leave no stone unturned as we prepare for the epic team-up from two of the biggest pop culture icons.
Maximum effort.
Created by the writer Fabio Nicesa and drawn by the controversial hands of Rob Liefeld, he made his first appearance in the New Mutants comic book, edition 98, released February of 1991. Due to the enormous success of Deadpool, this comic book prices skyrocketed, going for a few $100s and even one being sold for a staggering $15,000 according to QualityComics.com. Although he was originally introduced as a villain, Deadpool's character quickly evolved into the antihero persona that fans know and love. But of course, that behind such a controversial character lies perhaps an even more controversial origin. Despite Deadpool's giant and still rising popularity, as well as his unique personality, his origins are surrounded by controversy within the comic book community. One of the most notable controversies revolves around the infamous Marvel and DC Comics rivalry, more specifically around the similarities with Deathstroke. For starters, Deathstroke's real name is Slade Wilson, a tremendous similarity to the Deadpool real name, Wade Wilson. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. No. They are both mercenaries, incredible skilled at martial arts, who like to use two, I will guess, katanas or two Japanese swords, and both have enhanced physical abilities such as strength, agility, reflexes, and even a healing factor, although Deadpool's is vastly superior to Deathstroke. These similarities have led to debates between the two fandoms across the years. Some believe it was a blatant ripoff, others is just an homage to DC's character, who was introduced 11 years before. Even the creators have acknowledged this, stating that Deadpool was intended as a completely different character. In my personal opinion, the character ability seemed to be, let's say, inspired in Deathstroke. But Deadpool's irreverent and distinct humor, combined with his complex and unique personality, are so different of everything that we have ever saw in pop culture that calling him a direct ripoff seems harsh and unjustified.
And to tell it right, I gotta take you back to long before I squeeze this ass into red spandex.
And at the core of Deadpool's origin lies a complex man, Wade Winston Wilson, whose backstory is shrouded in mystery. Along the years he gave a lot of conflicting statements regarding his childhood, one weirder than the other. But it seems that not even him can trust his own memories, so we will never know. In my research, I found some answers to this question, but they were all so different that I cannot actually give you a real-life answer to this. One say he was Canadian, another say he was from Ohio, one say that he was abused by his mother, another say she died when he born. The only thing we are certain about him is that somewhere in his early life he turned to crime and eventually became a mercenary. His tremendous fighting skills quickly earned him a reputation as one of the deadliest mercenaries, even without superpowers at the time. However, Wilson's life took a drastic turn when he was diagnosed with a cureless cancer. Desperate for a cure and to find a sliver of hope, he was approached by a secret organization known as the Weapon X program. Offered a chance at survival, Wilson volunteered to be part of the experimental procedures conducted by the Weapon X program. He underwent a series of brutal experiments, including the infusion of a healing factor derived from the Wolverine. However, this process was far from a miracle cure. While the experiment managed to cure Wade's cancer and leaving him with accelerated healing ability, it also left him horribly disfigured and mentally unstable. Driven to the brink of madness by the brutalities he underwent in the experiment, he emerged as the scarred and unhinged mercenary known as Deadpool. When Deadpool burst into the comic book scenes, few could have predicted the profound impact he would have in the industry and far beyond that. Despite being introduced as a villain hired to kill Cable and the New Mutants, his quirky personality and irreverent humor quickly set him apart from other comic book antagonists, landing him his first solo miniseries named Deadpool The Circle Chase, just 2 years after his first appearance in 1993. Written by the same creator Fabio Nicesa with artwork by Joe Madureira, this miniseries was not a commercial blockbuster, but it helped settling the groundwork for Deadpool's future solo adventures. Deadpool's early reception from readers and critics was let's say mixed. While some embrace his personality and the unconventional approach to superheroics, others criticize the character as shallow and derivative, and the comparison with DC Comics' Deathstroke sparked a lot of debate among fans. Despite his humble beginnings, Deadpool saw his popularity rise in the late 90s and early 2000s, thanks to his increasing appearance in various comic book titles and crossover events. His impact across Marvel Comics and his unique personality made him one of the most beloved and enduring characters across the years.
I am Marvel Jesus.
Let's delve into those instances, as we uncover the most significant moments this character has experienced in Marvel Comics. And what a better way to start than with a favorite of mine, and the first time I ever heard about the Merc with a mouth, Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. Written by Cullen Bunn, illustrated by Dalibrook Logic, I'm so sorry if I fucked your name up, and published in 2012 as a limited series consisting of 4 issues, this series is still one of the most important Deadpool comic books published. Not just about Deadpool, but on comic books as a general in the last decade. I highly recommend you to read this comic book unspoiled, despite the title making it pretty clear what's about. The miniseries begins with Deadpool murdering Fantastic Four and being captured by the X-Men. Long story short, Deadpool escapes and begins a rampage murdering heroes and villains alike, from Spider-Man to the X-Men, from the Avengers to the Fantastic Four. No one was safe from the Deadpool's deadly crusade. What I found more interesting in this story was the creativity the writers displayed to find ways to keep the deaths interesting. I will not tell you how he managed to kill all the characters or the whole storyline, maybe in another day, but I can name a few. For instances, the brutality of the Fantastic Four murders. He melted Mr. Fantastic into rubber. He crushed the Thing. He decapitated the Human Torch right in front of his sister. And despite her putting up a good fight, and even being able to blow the head of Deadpool, she too succumbed to Deadpool bloodlust. As she was mourning her fallen family, he stabbed her from behind, ending the epic history of the oldest superhero team. But who can forget about the craziest of plots? Deadpool and Lady Death, the personification of death in the Marvel Comics. I'm saying death a lot, I'm sorry, it's their names, I cannot do anything about that. They met after several near-death experiences that Deadpool had, and somehow they actually fell in love. But if you think this is crazy, no, wait. He was not the only one in love with Lady Death. Thanos, the Mad Titan himself, is famously in love with Ted since the beginnings of his story. Love that was never reciprocated by her. Poor Thanos. This deep love from the Mad Titan is one of the things that pushes him into committing acts of mass destruction and genocide. And Deadpool's presence in this crazy love triangle makes things harder for Thanos. This rivalry is well documented in Deadpool vs. Thanos miniseries, written by Tim Seeley and with artwork from Elmo Bondot, published in 2015. The miniseries starts by showing a universe where death is missing. Without death to balance the scales of life and death, the universe descends into chaos, prompting Deadpool to begin an epic quest to find death and bring balance to the cosmos. But he was not the only one that became aware of Death's disappearance. Thanos, obsessed with her and the desire to win her over, sets out to find her as well. What follows is a cosmic showdown between Deadpool and the Mad Titan, and it creates one of the most important plot points for modern Deadpool lore. Thanos, jealous of the love between Lady Death and Deadpool, cursed the multi-mercenary with immortality, so the two of them will never meet again. And of course, we have to talk about one of the biggest frenemies in pop culture, and the rivalry that inspired the future movie and that brought Deadpool into the big screen. Deadpool and Wolverine. Their contrasting personalities and moral codes have resulted in some memorable team-up and epic battles that have captivated readers for years. Their rivalry traces back to the beginnings of Deadpool history. They first met in the 1994 Wolverine edition 88. In this comic book, Deadpool trashed the apartment of his ex-girlfriend boyfriend because she didn't want to get back with him. Unfortunately, this new boyfriend, Garrison Kane, was a friend of Wolverine, and when he was checking to see him, the clash immediately occurred as soon as Wolverine sets foot in the apartment. This eventually led to Deadpool stabbing Wolverine with both swords, and for a number of reasons I cannot begin to name, winning the fight. This helped set the tone for the future of this rivalry that persists into this day. I could go on and on about the amazing stories Deadpool takes part, like the amazing team-ups with Spider-Man or even when he joined the Avengers, but then the video will be too long. Maybe I will do another video diving deep into those stories.
Fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls.
And of course that we have to talk about one of Deadpool's most distinctive traits, his passion for breaking the fourth wall, a technique where he directly addresses the audience, acknowledging that he's a fictional character within a comic book or other medium. This metafictional aspect of Deadpool's character adds a unique layer of humor and self-awareness to his stories. This ability is specially depicted in the movies he took part, but his journey from the comic book pages to the big screens was far from easy. The idea of a solo Deadpool movie actually traces back to the early 2000s, and even then, Ryan Reynolds himself wanted to play the part. Although rumors of a solo movie had circulated since then, we will have to wait another half-decade for the first appearance in the big screen, in the lackluster X-Men Origins Wolverine. Despite the portrait of Wade Wilson as the mercenary before the transformation was well received, it was the portrayal of Deadpool that left fans disappointed, which became a major setback in the future of the character in the big screen. In this movie, he even had the post-credit scenes where it showed that Deadpool didn't die. But because of the negative reception of the character in the movie, it threw away a chance of seeing spin-off movies in the near future like they intended. Despite all this, there was one person who never gave up on the character, and this persistence led to the movie actually being made in 2016. Ryan Reynolds. The movie was basically in the works since his appearance in the Wolverine movie, but this time they wanted to bring Deadpool as he truly was in the comic books. And that was basically what we got in the 2016 blockbuster movie, praised for his faithful depiction of the character, irreverent humor, and innovative approach to the superhero genre. The success of this solo movie made it that only 2 years later we will have a sequel, and so in 2018 we got the amazing Deadpool 2. Both films were a massive success, but in the second one, they expanded the Deadpool universe even further, introducing characters that remind to the first appearance of the Merc with a mouth, like Cable and Domino. And we even got X-Force. Well, kinda. However, it was the post-credit scene that was the highlight of the film, at least for me. Not going into much detail, but the movie introduced time travel into the mix, and in the end, this technology had fallen into the Deadpool end. And in classic Deadpool fashion, he went back in time to fix some mistakes of the past. For example, he went back and killed the original Deadpool from the Wolverine movie, and even went into the real world and killed himself. I mean, he killed Ryan Reynolds before he accepted the role of Green Lantern, another controversial superhero role the Canadian actor took earlier in his career. And this leads us into today, where Deadpool is coming into the MCU. A long-awaited dream from comic book fan, not only because the Merc with the Mouth will join this universe, but because all the other X-Men can join as well. I'm not going to dive in deep into Marvel history here, and why all the characters in the X-Men universe were part of Fox, but pretty much what you got to know is that Marvel had a big crisis in the 90s, and had to sell the rights to the big screens to multiple companies. And now with the major success of the MCU these past 2 decades, Disney decided to bring them all together to vastly improve this universe. This announcement was received with controversy. Some praised the announcement of this news, dreaming of a team-up with Spider-Man and the infinity possibilities this would bring to the future of the character, while others were afraid that the fact Disney was involved in the production of this movie would mean that the movie would differ from the R-rated tone characteristic of the other two. But despite the initial uncertainties, the boss himself, Kevin Feige, confirmed that the movie would follow the same tone from the other two. This leads us into the Super Bowl and the announcement of the trailer. I could dive deep into the state of the MCU right now and why Deadpool is coming as a savior to the universe's current state. But what's most important is that almost every movie and series got pushed further back in the calendar, leaving us for the first time in ages with a single MCU movie in a year, Deadpool and Wolverine. And the trailer confirmed what fans expected and wanted for the movie. The same R-rated humor and action we got in the other two will be a major part of this movie with Deadpool. Once again diving deep into time travel and seemingly joining the TVA to be a real hero. Although the movie script is still shrouded in mystery, we'll have a dream team-up for every comic book fan, Deadpool and Wolverine together, and with Logan wearing his classic comic book suit. In my personal opinion, and perhaps I'm being a little bit biased, the addition of Deadpool into the MCU will bring what the universe needs to have the success of other days. It will help set a different tone for future movies, and it seems we can expect that we'll fix the timeline, especially the Fox X-Men timeline, like we saw in the trailer, and in some leaked pictures of the movie set, as well as bringing the X-Men and their villains to be a part of the amazing universe that is the MCU. In conclusion, Deadpool's journey from the pages of comic books to the big screen, and this upcoming integration into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, represents a testament to the enduring popularity and cultural impact of this beloved character. From his humble beginnings as a wisecracking mercenary in the pages of Marvel Comics, to his breakout success in standalone films, Deadpool has captivated audience with his irreverent humor, unconventional storytelling, and complex character dynamics. And that's it. I think I got pretty much all covered. Well, not all the history of Deadpool, of course, that will be too long to go into every single comic book that he had, but if you appreciated this journey, I would also appreciate if you could leave a like and subscribe, as well as giving me some input on what you like, what you dislike, and how I could improve the next video. Till next time.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.